Today I'm giving the League of Ireland a £1 billion TV deal. Every season, each of its 10 teams receives £100 million in a TV deal to broadcast their games around the world. Then I'm going to simulate 100 years in the future to find out if any team can win a Champions League. So at the start of the game, the League of Ireland is 85th in competition reputation rankings. But by season 30, it's up to 6th. That is such a quick rise. But I guess that is what 30 billion gets you. Also, Ireland gets 6 European places, 3 Champions League, a Europa League and 2 Conference League places. Derry City have been dominant in these opening 30 years, although Galway United are starting to win a few more titles. So Galway have got a bank balance of £1 billion, but have somehow made a loss of 7.6 million this past season, which is pretty impressive. And some of the wages are huge, £185,000 for the best player in the league. And he's actually a goalkeeper who's only made 4 caps for Ireland, and he's had a less than traditional career path. And looks like only Galway, Derry and Shamrock Rovers have had new stadiums built. But sadly, there are no Irish winners of the Champions League, or the Europa League, or even the Europa Conference League. But St Pat's Athletic did come runners-up in 2035-36. So if I'm honest, I'm a little bit confused as to how they've got to 6th in competition rankings. And going another 60 years in the future, the Irish Premier League has dropped down to 7th. No! They still do have those 6 European places, although Shelbourne have got the Europa League place, so they must have won the cup. But Galway have just been absolutely insane since last time we saw them. They are the dominant force in Ireland. And despite winning 2 UEFA Youth Leagues, they've not actually reached the final of any major European competition. And I've been through the data. There's only actually been 1 more finalist in a European competition, and that was St Pat's Athletic just a couple seasons ago, losing to West Ham in the Europa League. And when you've got players on over £200,000 a week, that is just not acceptable. This right winger is apparently the best player playing in the League of Ireland right now, and he does look pretty good, but his current ability is only 158 out of 200, and that's not good enough. I mean, Galway's reputation is just under 8,000, and that should be good enough to attract some of the best players in the world. And money is not an issue, we've made sure of that, so they need to get their act together and sign those good players to win something. But 90 years in the future, Ireland is now the 4th most reputable league in all of Europe. Okay, this is maybe where we're going to start getting some great results. There are now 7 European places up for grabs in Ireland. 7 out of 10. And if in the same season we get an Irish winner of the Champions League, Europa League and Europa Conference League, does that mean all 10 teams will qualify? Galway are slowly starting to lose the grasp they have on the league, with Dundalk winning 4 of the last 5 titles. Which is even more impressive when they don't have many of the league's top players. They are hoarded by St Pat's and Galway. But it's Shelbourne who are currently paying the highest wages in the league to a 30-year-old Brazilian called Rafael Ribeiro, who's a striker who's actually pretty decent. A goal every other game for Shelbourne is a pretty decent return. UCD, Cork City and Bohemians haven't built new stadiums, but every other team have, with Galway building a monster 80,000-seater stadium. But have they been used to host some amazing European nights? Well, Dundalk became the first Irish winner of the Europa Conference League in 2087-88, and they were followed up by Shamrock Rovers in 2105-06. But I mean, Birmingham have won 2 of these titles, so it's not that impressive really. There have been a lot of Irish losers in the Conference League. Shamrock Rovers lost it once, and St Pat's Athletic lost it twice in a row, whereas Derry City have had 2 losses themselves across the years. Sadly, there are still no Irish winners of the Europa League, but there are a couple of losers, such as Derry City in the most recent season, St Pat's Athletic twice in the 80s, and Sligo Rovers lost it to Birmingham City. Out of all of this, who was predicting that Birmingham were going to become a European powerhouse? As for the Champions League, the less said the better, as we're still yet to see an Irish team reach the final. But big up to Bournemouth coming runners-up in the most recent season. So we're going to go forward one final time to 128 years in the future. If an Irish team doesn't win a Champions League by this stage, I don't think they ever will. Also, if you're still here, make sure you do drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. It took me a day and a half to simulate through this experiment, so it took a long time. Wait, hold on. How have Ireland dropped behind Finland? I've not even got their leagues loaded up, I can't see anything about it. So how have they got there? Are you telling me that somehow Finnish clubs have won like 8 Champions Leagues in the last 30 years? The League of Ireland is no longer dominated by Galway. It's actually Cork City and St Pat's Athletic who are battling for supremacy. But it's actually Derry City who have the biggest wage bill in the league. They are spending tons of money on players. But it is nice to see Sligo Rovers and UCD pick up Europa Conference League titles. But the most recent winner, of course, was a team from Finland. There's also success in the Europa League with Derry City, Cork City, Dundalk and Sligo Rovers all winning the competition. So surely this means that someone's won a Champions League, right? The signs are all there. Well, they may have made finals, but they've never actually gone on to win a Champions League. Poor Dundalk and St Pat's Athletic. So despite the £128 billion that we've given them, they couldn't win a Champions League, which is kind of disappointing really. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out this one on screen right now. I think it might be the best video I've ever made.